Well, it's a very kind recognition, and I'm very grateful for it. In a way, the award is just really should work really as a incentive to more people in my fraternity to use their voices more frequently, because it's so important that everyone everywhere gets involved and starts practicing planetary stewardship, because the world needs it, and the planet needs it right now. This work started over 2 decades ago. It will continue till the last breath of my life. It is my life's biggest privilege to be able to share these stories, to be able to campaign for wildlife protection and environmental action, because I recognize the urgency, the immediacy, and the importance to do this work. And I think the more people recognize how biodiversity protection, wildlife conservation is all connected to human health, human, um, you know, life, our peace, our progress, um, reducing inequalities, the more it will mobilize people into action. It was a love that was nurtured in my childhood, with the time I spent outdoors with my parents, the time I spent outdoors just interacting with nature, climbing trees, watching seasons change, watching birds build nests, um, just discovering my strong connection and love for nature and wildlife. But I think the defining moment for me was when I was in Painch, Madhya Pradesh, and I was a part of this campaign to raise awareness on tiger conservation in the country. And and I was in a forest for the first time in my adult life, and I saw a tigress on the hunt. And I was just completely mesmerized by the magnificence of this animal. But when I spent time in the forest with the rangers, and I discovered what their daily routine looks like, and how compelling and how life-threatening their work environment is, and how challenging it is, and how they do it despite all the odds against them, it became very clear to me that all this extraordinary work that was happening needed to become a part of mainstream media. And more people needed to know these stories. As a parent, what I consciously have been doing is I've not exposed my child to the screen, and there's no such thing as screen time. And of course, there's a few short spurts that are unavoidable for a video call or something like that. But that apart, there's absolutely no screen time. My kid is 3. Now, I don't know how much longer I'll be able to successfully keep him away from gadgets, because I mean, I guess at some point his peer group will be doing it, and he will be exposed to it, and he may start asking for it. But I'm hoping that by then he would have discovered his love for the outdoors so much that he would prefer it over being on a gadget, right? Or a smartphone. So what we do consciously every day is to ensure our children get time outdoors in nature. My son goes to the park or to our garden every single day. We have balconies at home, and they're filled with plants that attract biodiversity. So there's bird song constantly. We have over 7 species visiting us on a daily basis. We've got coppersmith barbets, we've got scaly-breasted munias, we've got silverbills, we've got sparrows, and we're living in Mumbai, and we live in an apartment, but we have biodiversity at home. And so Avyan's interaction with nature on a daily basis is high, and he loves it, and he connects very deeply with it. I mean, his morning starts with when the curtain goes up, he looks out of his window and he says, "Good morning, world. Good morning, plants. Good morning, flowers. Good morning, birds." And after every meal, he says, "Thank you, farmer. Thank you, Mama Earth." And then he thanks the person who's cooked his meal. And I think these are values and these are experiences that are essential for parents to inculcate in children, because, of course, the first thing that it does is it brings balance to their health and their well being, but it also makes them, they just, I think they discover that innate belonging and that sense of connection that they have with all life on earth. And Avyan could see a creepy crawly, he could see a snake, he could see any animal or any kind of creature, and he will never have any other reaction but, "Hi,
That's so
how are
sweet.
you? So nice to meet you." Uh, and that's the love that you want every child to discover and feel. And these are these are values that will guide all their relationships in life and all their interactions with all kinds of people in life. And I think that the greatest service any parent can do for their child is to ensure their children have time in nature every day, and to ensure their children find that connection with nature. There, I miss the conduit. In fact, if you could use me to discover the extraordinary people that got awarded last night, their
I'm definitely going
stories,
to.
and their conservation efforts are just remarkable. Some of whom, I mean, like yesterday, I discovered Charles, who's working on pangolin conservation, and he's a science student, and I mean, the kind of work that young people are doing, and the kind of work that they're doing despite the odds, all the odds against them, is just extraordinary. And I was so deeply moved and energized and inspired last evening when I discovered the stories of all the people who've been awarded. It was just fantastic.